deep in the heart of Northern California, a massive white peak dominates the horizon, Mount Shasta. To the tourists, it is a playground for skiing and hiking. But to the inhabitants of the surrounding towns and the Native American tribes who have lived in its shadow for millennia, it is something else entirely. It is a portal, a fortress, an archive of disappearances that science refuses to explain. The mystery of Mount Shasta isn't just about strange lights or cold winds. It's about a pattern of events that started long before modern records. The mountain is classified by the U.S. Geological Survey as a high-threat volcano. But its true danger is Fire or Ashit-S, the silence that follows those who go too far up its slopes. Let's go back to the year 2011. A 3-year-old boy was hiking with his family near a creek at the base of the mountain. In a split second, while his parents' backs were turned, he vanished. Not a sound, not a footprint. A massive search operation was launched, involving local police and volunteers. After several days of frantic searching, the boy was found in a thicket, miles away from where he disappeared, in a location that experts say a toddler could never reach on his own. But finding him was only the beginning of the horror. Months later, while playing with his grandmother, Kathy, the boy suddenly said, "I don't like the other Kathy." When asked what he meant, he described being taken into a cold, dark cave by a woman who looked exactly like his grandmother, a shape-shifting entity. Inside this cave, he saw walls lined with weapons, bags, and massive spiders. These beings looked at him and said something that still haunts his family. "We are the ones who placed you in your mother's womb." He then described blacking out and waking up under the tree where he was eventually found. What makes this story truly terrifying is that his real grandmother had a similar experience in the exact same location just 3 weeks prior. She woke up face down in the dirt outside her tent with a mysterious puncture wound in the back of her head, leaking blood. She had no memory of how she got there, only a faint recollection of red eyes watching her from the dark. This brings us to the legend that defines this mountain, Lemuria. In 1883, a young man named Frederick Spencer Oliver wrote a book titled A Dweller on Two Planets. He claimed he didn't write it himself. Rather, his hand was guided by a spirit named Philos, the Tibetan. The book described a lost continent called Lemuria that sank into the Pacific thousands of years ago, much like Atlantis. The survivors, a highly advanced race of giants, standing 7 to 12 feet tall, allegedly fled to Mount Shasta. They built a massive subterranean city called Telos, which means City of Light. According to those who claim to have seen them, these Lemurians are graceful giants with long hair, often dressed in white robes. They are said to possess technology far beyond our understanding, flying crafts that don't use fuel, crystalline energy sources, and the ability to communicate through telepathy. In 1930, the world received what many consider physical proof. A massive headline appeared in major newspapers: 12-foot skeleton found in Shasta Caves. The report described a skeleton over 360 centimeters tall, nearly 4 meters. This wasn't a human being. It was a giant, But where are the others? Why haven't we found a graveyard of these beings? Some believe they live in a different dimension, a vibration just slightly out of reach of our human eyes, stepping into our world only when they choose. This leads us to the story of J.C. Brown. In 1904, Brown was a prospector hired by a mining company. While working on the mountain, he stumbled upon a landslide that revealed a hidden entrance. He followed a tunnel that went 11 miles deep into the mountain's core. What he found was straight out of a nightmare. He described a massive chamber containing 27 giant mummies, the smallest being 10 feet tall. He saw golden shields, strange hieroglyphs, and rooms filled with treasures from a lost age. Brown was terrified. He kept his discovery a secret for 30 years, fearing no one would believe him. Finally, in 1934, he revealed his story to a man named John C. Root and organized an expedition of 80 scientists and explorers. But on the day the journey was set to begin, J.C. Brown vanished. He was never seen again, and the entrance to the golden city of the giants remained hidden, as if the mountain itself had reclaimed its secret. The mountain continues to claim victims, professional climbers, people who know the terrain better than anyone, vanish without a trace. In 1999, Carl Landers, a seasoned climber, disappeared in front of his friends. Even with infrared sensors and helicopters, not a single piece of his equipment was ever found. Then there was Michael Felvo in 2011, who was overcome by a sudden madness, stripping off his clothes and sprinting up the mountain with superhuman speed until he collapsed and died. His autopsy showed no drugs or alcohol. Something else had taken control of him. Native tribes like the Modoc and the Karok have always known. They offer sacrifices to the mountain, believing that the Bigfoot or Yeti that roam the slopes are the guardians of these ancient secrets. They warn that there are forbidden zones where the veil between our world and the world of the giants is thin. I am Ravenwood. I've spent my life looking through the archives, connecting the dots that others choose to ignore. Mount Shasta is not just a mountain. It is a sentinel. It watches us just as much as we watch it. Are the Lemurians still down there, performing experiments on the humans they take? Or are they waiting for the day when their city of light finally rises again? One thing is certain. When you hike those slopes, and the wind begins to whisper in a language you don't understand, don't look back. Some secrets are better left in the dark.